Perfect.
Welcome to the Author Spotlight Show, a platform dedicated to celebrating remarkable women who share their purpose and their passion to make a difference in this world. My name is Gail Watson. I'm founder and CEO of Women Speakers Association, a global community of women who use their voice to powerfully inspire others. Today, we're talking about a brand new book, a hot new release called Voices of the 21st Century Women Empowered Through Passion and Purpose. This book features extraordinary women from various backgrounds and walks of life who've shared how their message has merged from their life experience. With passion and purpose, these stories will inspire you to embrace your own power, break barriers, and really create the future that you want. These women are a testament to the strength and collective voice of women in shaping the world in which they envision. So today we are meeting the co-author of Voices of the 21st Century, Women Empowered Through Passion and Purpose, and we're going to have a really cool conversation here. So we want to chat with you. If you're not happy with what's going on in your life, maybe, or maybe you're needing to break away from negative thoughts that are holding you down, you're going to want to take a listen to this amazing woman, international best-selling author, Ame-Lia Tamburrini. Welcome.
Hi, Gail. So great to be here. Thank you so much.
So super to have you. And, I love your story. You talk about miracles happen. And as I was reading your story, I was literally fighting back the emotions that it brings in. And it's a very personal look into who you are. So let's talk about what inspires you to share your story.
Yeah, great question. Well, I think, first of all, I believe in the power of sharing story. I get the honor of hosting circle conversations in the work that I do in the world today. And that is all about people sitting and courageously sharing their story and having others listen to it. And I see how that simple act transforms everybody in the room, both the storyteller and the people who are listening. And so for me, the Voices of the 21st Century book is taking that impact out into the world through the sharing of all these beautiful stories. So I was heck yes when the opportunity came up for that reason alone. And just like sitting in a circle, I transformed in writing the story because I got to really think through and process a very powerful experience in my life and share that with the world in hopes that it also creates a little bit of a shift in them, opens up some door, some window that they might not see right now, that has them step into a fuller, more beautiful, more impactful life that they're meant for. So that's why I said yes to this opportunity.
That's awesome. Now you share a story that you haven't really shared publicly uh, in your world. How does that feel to let that go?
It feels liberating. It really does. I think that stories emerge at the right time. And for me, this particular experience happened about 5 years ago, almost to the date. And I wasn't ready to share the story before then. And so this was like perfect time, perfect moment. And it feels like there's something in me that has been able to let go. And more of me is able to be now expressed because of it. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, and miracles happen. I mean, that's the title of the story you share. So, uh, as you went deep and you shared that very personal side of yourself, what is it that you want readers to take away from your story?
I want readers to know that life is what you think it will be. So it's very important to get clear and intentional about what you want life to be. And that was really that moment for me where, through the support of somebody else, I got to see that I was holding on to a story that was limiting my future potential, limiting it in such a way that the only path forward I thought was actually death. And to be able to switch that around and all of a sudden see infinite possibilities in front of me just through shifting how I was thinking about a certain situation was so impactful. And so that's really what I want people to take away from is to start to pay attention to the stories that you're telling yourself about whatever the situation is that you happen to be going in or going through right now. And it is hard to make that switch by yourself. So that's sort of part two of the story is to find that support, to surround yourself with people that are able to help you see where you're possibly thinking in ways that aren't supporting you and your dreams and your relationships and everything else that life brings.
That's so important. And it reminds me of that saying, we're the sum of the five people we hang around with the most.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed as I was going on the journey in your story and feeling emotional. It was like this beautiful, gentle wave. It's almost like a wave that just gently comes into the beach and makes you feel good. And when you tickle your toes in the water and you just feel it. And that's your storytelling is really beautiful and gentle in
Mm.
there. Like you go on that roller coaster of wow. Could really relate to those feelings. So let's talk about how this this time of your life, how it has transformed you today, and how does it show up in what you're doing?
Yeah, I prioritize my mindset today in my own life and um getting better and better at questioning or just stopping myself when I'm in a bit of a gloomy thought or thinking that things will never change or whatever those thoughts are that just feel really heavy. I'm getting better and better at pausing and saying, okay, well, is that true? Or what's the better feeling thought that's actually going to get me further ahead on my journey or in action in some way because it's so important. And so that's how I'm really embodying this story, I think, on a day-to-day basis. And it's also the journey I went through. I've sat down and really thought about, well, what was this transition that I went through? And now I bring that transition into all the work I do, whether it's working with organizations to create cultures of belonging and really doing the internal work to shift that culture, or whether I'm working with change maker leaders and having them shift their internal dialogue to have them step bigger and bolder out into the world. We're always going through this journey of what is the mindset? What are the stories that you're telling yourself about other people or about yourself? And then how can you embody, like become that that higher version of yourself or the next level version of yourself that is compassionate and kind and patient and courageous and um and then what are the actions that you're going to do to get you one step further toward that is, and we do all of that in circles so people are surrounded by by other people who are rooted in the same desires that want to make a change, that want to make a difference in the world, that want to show up as their best selves and not create more division, but actually create more connection and love in the world. And when we do that together, I just, I mean, I'm still in awe every time I see the power again going back to that storytelling and how people are able to be feel seen and heard and step more mm, into the world with that feeling of safety and security like they're not alone. So this journey has simply rippled, I think, throughout all the work that I do. And I stand so strongly behind it because I've seen how it's changed my life. And now I get to see how it changes other people's. Yeah,
That's beautiful. So you actually work with people in groups.
I do. Yes.
And so who are the type of people that are attracted to your work?
I work with a lot of leaders, men and women, who are struggling to find their voice in their workplace. Maybe they have a strong vision and they just feel like there's not space for it to be heard. I work with people who are so big hearted and want to make a big impact, but they still find themselves showing up in ways that aren't in alignment with that. So maybe it's a lot of judgment or a lot of um, just ways in which they're creating kind of chaos and havoc in their own relationships, uh, and that sense of division. And I work with people who are they have like a social justice bend, like they're really passionate about equity and ensuring that all voices are seen and heard. So those are the types of people that are drawn to me, and through doing the work, not only do they get to show up and make a bigger impact in the areas that they're passionate about, but they also get to experience more joy in their own life because there's that sense of freedom that comes with sharing stories, being seen and heard, and being supported by other people.
I love what you're doing because we do need to help heal those lines of division that we're all feeling these
Mhm.
these days. So sounds like we need to get a copy of your book, Ame-Lia. So where do we get a copy of your book?
Awesome. Yeah, I would love for you to have a copy of the book. And you can do that simply by emailing voices at humconsulting.ca. And hum is HUM. Yeah.
humconsulting.ca, voices at, and that's where we can get a copy of your book.
Yes.
I was just thinking because as we were talking about your story, and I know that you want to use this book as a thank you to those people who were along that experience or were strong pillars in there that helped reshape your thinking. So I can't help but think that this is a beautiful gift to anyone who's listening right now, that it's a gift for yourself, but it's also a fantastic gift to give to others, to let
Yeah.
them know that you see them, that they are heard, and that they mean something to you. So pick up a few copies and share them away. That's awesome. Ame-Lia, your heart, since I've known you, you have such a gentle soul. And just as I was talking about how the story made me feel like you're just that gentle wave that comes up onto the beach, you know, you really do have that energy. You have that peaceful energy. You have that non-judgment energy. You have such a welcoming spirit to you. So thank you for showing up and sharing, the truth of you. It takes a lot of courage to do that. Um, and it definitely makes a difference for those of us who get to read it. So thank you so much for sharing your heart
Mm.
and showing up the way you do. So you've left us with so many good nuggets. I took some notes that I'd like to remember. So as we depart, can you leave us with some final words of wisdom?
Yeah. Well, I think first of all, thank you for creating this platform, the Voices of 21st Century. Without you, we wouldn't all be here. So big gratitude to you for also courageously creating this space. Um, Words of wisdom, you can be, do, have, create anything that you want. And all that that takes is your belief and your ability to do that. And so do whatever it is that you can, surround yourself with whoever it is you need to surround yourself to stay aligned with that truth.
I love that. Surround ourselves with those who believe that we are the change, that we can be that change. Excellent
Yeah.
words of wisdom. Thank you. Thanks
You're welcome.
again.
Thank you.
I just love you so much. Anyway, I want to thank you and thank our listeners for joining us today. Go out and get yourself a copy of Ame-Lia's book at voices at humconsulting.ca. Just email her direct and set up your order there. And we want to wish you, wherever you are in this world, a great day. Thanks for joining us.